Good morning. It is Tuesday, January 6th. We're 90 days out from April 6th. We're in week one of your DTD2 for 2026. So you are texting your A's and your N's, I should say, texting your N's, calling your A's and W's. So it's the first week of the new year, and you're starting the DTD2 all over again. So call the A's and W's, text the N's, and really it's all about interactions. Like if you are going to die on the hill, I'm never, ever, 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 ever going to ever make a phone call. And that's okay. I don't say that with judgment. I say that's okay. I get it. Then by all means, we just need to figure out what we're going to do to make sure that we're having enough conversations or interactions, as it were. So do with that information what you will. A's, W's, and N's. If you're calling and texting, then you're calling A's and W's. If you're texting the N's. And the process of all of this is you're going to go through 2 letters a week, 13 weeks. Each quarter gets you through the entirety of the alphabet, which turns out to, as we see in the 36 Connect, in smart plans built into Command, that gives you your 4 conversations every year. You're only talking to each person in your database once a quarter. That's the recommendation at minimum, right? And if you're having enough conversations, or if you prefer the phone, or your talks a lot, then have more conversations. The only recommendation is whatever smart plan you're using, the ones, because when you go into Command, you can go into the Command marketplace, and there's a million different 36 connects, there's 75 connects, there's 100 connects, because people know that it takes more engagement nowadays to create more business. It used to be those 19 no's to a yes. Those were the good old days. That's sort of gone by the wayside. We're hearing 46, 47, 48 conversations to get that appointment. And everyone's conversion rate is different. This is why it's important, wherever you are in your business, that you start to track. If you've never tracked, that way you have that data, so you don't need to be confounded about like, well, what is it going to take? Because that's the question people ask me all the time. I've got a couple of one-on-ones today with some brand new agents, and I guarantee the conversation at some point is going to turn into, so Timmy, what do I need to do? And I can't answer that question. I haven't seen your work ethic yet. I don't know what your talent versus your tenacity is. Right? It's Mike Tyson all over again. Everyone has a great plan until they get punched in the face. You're going to get punched in the face in this industry. The question is, what's your tenacity to get back up off the mat? What's your willingness to keep going and keep having conversations? And what are you inspired to do? And if it's not conversations, I appreciate that. You're going to have to talk to somebody at some point, mind you. What are you going to do to make sure that you're connecting with people enough, right? So those interactions, that's what that roadmap is for. DTD2, do the database 2. Get through your 2 letters every week in your database to make sure that you are making contact with everyone all year long. Because we know the number is 6%. 6% of the United States will be part of or right next to a transaction over the next 12 months. So our job is to make sure that we distill that down to our database and multiply that number by that 0.06 and figure out, hey, how many transactions are out there that if I don't have enough interactions, I'm going to miss out on these opportunities. What's been fascinating is people are looking at the numbers for last year and coming up this year. And we know, based on the math, everything that's being reported, we're going to have 4.1, 4.2 million transactions in the United States for 2026. Okay. And that number's like, oh, okay, what does that mean for me? I can tell you what it means for you. Because there's a lot of agents that have been around long enough, and they'll be like, well, that number is lower than it used to be. The simple question we need to ask ourselves is the number, that massive number, 4.1, let's just say 4 million. Let's round down and be conservative. 4 million. Can you satisfy your goals with 4 million transactions floating around the United States? And I know you're only licensed in 1 state, 2 state, 3 state, 4 state. I don't know. But this is why it's important to also focus on the fact that, hey, Timmy, all the numbers in my phone, half of them are agents. Okay, are you talking to them? Are you creating referral opportunities? And sometimes people poo poo those away. They're like, yeah, but that's only 25% of a commission. Not always. And it's 25% of a commission that took you a phone call. One of your friends is like, yeah, I'm moving out to San Diego. You call your dear friend out in San Diego. You introduce them. They keep you up to date on how things are going. And then suddenly a commission check arrives for 25% of a deal that you picked up the phone for. What if you did that 4, 8, 12 times and you replaced the income of 3 deals by doing something that took you 20 minutes max? Are we thinking that way? What are the stones you haven't turned? What are the financial opportunities you haven't pursued yet? What are the things that you're ignoring because you've never done it before? Or I don't really feel like people talk about referrals a lot. Wrong. We know last year the top 3 things, I'll go 4, right? The core 4. The core 4 for our entire country: sphere of influence, referrals, events, open houses. So if you're not chipping away at building those conversations with the people in your phone that you do business with, well, I've got Deb's number in there because, you know, she's a great broker. She's here on the Seacoast, and I just saved it because I knew I'd be dealing with her because she's a great agent. And, you know, 20% of the agents do 80% of the business. I know. When's the last time you talked to her, though? Because she's only licensed in New Hampshire and you have Maine and Massachusetts. Yeah, but she's probably got connections in Maine and Massachusetts. I'm sure she does. Have you made yourself available for the opportunity? Or the homework that I've offered to everyone all of the time, every of the times, as Kevin from The Office would say. This is just a fun little project, and maybe you chip away at over the course of the year. Can you find yourself a great referral agent? Doesn't need to be KW. It doesn't. Find a great referral agent in each of the 50 states. And I know where your head went immediately, because my head went there immediately when I was thinking of doing this as an agent myself. Well, listen, Tim, California is big. I'm going to need more than one person in California. No, it's a big state. I doubt Julie in Los Angeles goes all the way up to Northern California. But you know what Julie in Los Angeles has? A referral partner in Northern California. So all you have to do is find one great agent in each state. They will have referral partners. Their referral partners become your referral partners. And what if you only got halfway through? Maybe at the end of this year, because maybe right now you only have referral partners in like New England and you've got one friend down in Louisiana. But what if at the end of this year, you had 28 referral partners and you only needed 22 more? And of course, a friend in Puerto Rico, the 51st unofficial state. What if you did that? That's lead generation. What kind of great conversations are you going to have when you're having those conversations? That's worth your time. That's a foundational conversation that will pay you back. So you can say with integrity when somebody calls you and says, hey, Timmy, you know, you mentioned at Thanksgiving that, you know, if I need help anywhere in the country, well, my aunt is selling in Topeka and she wants to move to Fort Lauderdale. Now, we can solve that crime in a moment's notice. We'll find you 2 great agents and you'll be getting your 25% and your 25%. Beautiful. To help Aunt Julie move for your friend, who's then going to adore you because you made her look good. But what if you already had your person? And I know some great people down in Florida for sure. Right in the St. Petersburg area. I mean, everybody's referral partner down there. In the Tampa area, James Shaw, Jack Smith, great agent, always on. James Call. I've called him several times. He knows everybody. Capital V, everybody. So maybe there's a little project for you to start your 2026. So when somebody says, do you know anybody in Utah? You're like, yep. Craig, just talked to him 2 weeks ago. Great guy. Or, not that we can't help, because you can. So don't fear. If anybody asks you to help anywhere on planet America or the globe, we can find you a referral partner. But what if you had your own? Because you stepped out of your comfort zone and started to have conversations and started to build that foundational piece of your database. And if you're like, well, Timmy, I'm going into my 8th year. I've never done that. And my business is, shut up. I love you, but shut up. So let's just build it. Why wouldn't you? Unless you don't like referral money. And I promise you, if you don't like referral money, it's because you've never had any. The greatest feeling in the world is when you get the direct deposit you forgot about. Because, of course, their check gets sent back here. And Kaylee and the team are going to pull your company dollar out if you have not yet capped. Right? It's a company dollar. And then whatever's left over after you pay Kaylee and you pay Gary goes to you. That's your net. It's not profit yet. It's net because you still have to talk to Washington. Those bastards. But it's better than not getting 25%. I can tell you that much. Just a thought, something to think about. Maybe something you work on today. In about 18 minutes when we hit Fight Club. Just a thought. That's today at 9 o'clock. Don't forget, we're back in Ignite. Kicked off yesterday. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, all the way through Friday, February 20th, before we escape for Atlanta for family reunion. It ends chef's kiss, perfectly on time. That'll be back tomorrow, Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock. You can go to KW Fight Club, KW Fight Club, just at 9 o'clock. Maybe that's the project you work on today to build your business. What are you doing in the morning to induce more conversations, to make sure everyone in your life knows that you're their person when the time comes? Are you having enough interactions with enough people to meet your goals? And if you don't know, is that because you're not tracking or you're not doing? Let's just get started. Today's a great day to start. At 11 o'clock, you get the Wealthy Agent webinar. That is with the Matthew Erdman. And then we are getting into Command Jumpstart also at 11 o'clock with the Maggie McDowell, our regional tech trainer. She's doing a week-long series at 11 o'clock. And then the Midday Protocol hits today. That's at 1 o'clock, timsoffice.com. We're going to talk about your conversations and interactions. We're going to talk about your appointments set and your contract signed. If there's anything I can do to help, let me know. You can book my face at meetwithcoach.com. Have a fantastic day. We'll see you in and around the Market Center and the internet. Take care.